Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another RebelScum.com video. And today we are reviewing the Micro Galaxy Squadron Boba Fett's Slave 1. And I say Boba Fett's Slave 1 because Jango Fett's is coming soon. You know we'll be reviewing it here on RebelScum.com. But this is one I've been definitely looking forward to. When we saw the launch edition pieces for Micro Galaxy Squadron back at Star Wars Celebration, Slave 1 was one of the ones that definitely caught my eye very quickly because it's one of the first miniature models to actually have a more proportionate scaling to it. And what I mean by that is the full ramp, some inner areas to put your figures in, plus actually having 3 seats and the gyroscopic cockpit of Slave 1, which is really, really cool. Plus, it features a bunch of other awesome, really details, which Jazwares is quickly making a name for themselves now with ship models in Star Wars. So here it is in the packaging. It looks really, really cool. You've got your Slave 1 right there, front and foremost. Then down here in your little mini card back bubble, you've got Fennec Shand and Boba Fett from Book of Boba Fett. So this is the, I guess, Book of Boba Fett / the Mandalorian edition of the Slave 1, which isn't all that different from how we saw in the original trilogy, of course. It's just slightly more worn and rusted, I guess, from sitting in Jabba's hangar for 5 or 6 years. Then on the side, you got some awesome artwork with a TIE fighter, the Slave 1, some X-Wings. On the back, it shows you some features of this really cool vehicle. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. There's our little carded 2-pack of figures. I love this. I know I talk about that when we do this, but I really do love how they did this. It's just so cool. Man, that bubble had that Sarlacc pit grip on the Slave 1 there. And here it is. This thing looks really, really nice. They just really, really nailed this one, I think, really well. It's got some good articulation. You got articulation on the little chin guns down here. Articulated wings, which articulates, let's see if I can, there we go, which articulates the gyroscopic cockpit inside. So when you bring the wings down, it brings the cockpit down as it's supposed to be in its landed position. But then when you bring the wings up, whoop, flips right up. And it's nice. Like once the weight of this, the way they engineered the way the wings and the cockpit articulate together, the weight of them will keep them in place as you have it in the upright position, which I think is really, really cool. And then, of course, you have some other awesome detail, like all the little technical bits on the back. You've got this panel that folds down, revealing the seismic charges that launch out the back. You've got this cool little side panel that opens right up for some of the inner parts of Slave 1, including this awesome little weapons locker right here with all kinds of weapons molded to it. Now, you can't take any of them out or put them in any of the figure's hands, but I still think that's really cool. And this part I absolutely love. So the ramp comes down like it does on screen, and there we go. The door opens up like it does on screen. And then there's like this little hook right here at the bottom. You just click that into place. So you have the open ramp and door like the ship has. I can't think of another version of Slave 1 that has ever been released in toy form that has that full feature with the removable ramp, with the lowering ramp and the opening door right here where the door is supposed to be, because there is no side door. That's something that's been on toy features for a very long time, so you can play with the inside of the Slave 1, but there isn't supposed to be a side door. There's just supposed to be this lower hatch right here. That's how you get in and out of the Slave 1 canonically. And your guy walks in there, there's a lower level, and then you get up to the level where the cockpit is, and this is just so cool. They absolutely nailed this. This is easily one of the coolest Slave 1 models ever. I challenge someone to come up with one with better screen accurate play features than this one. I mean, the VC one is awesome. It's close. It's really close to this, but it doesn't have the door. There is no door, and that's I rank this one just a little bit higher in playability because of little features like that. But there are things about the VC one that are definitely better than this one for sure. Absolutely. I just really love this. I think this is really cool. All right, we're gonna land this sucker for a moment now and move on to these little guys. Here is Boba Fett and Fennec Shand in their little card back bubble. Both of them feature remarkably screen accurate paint apps from their respective media, specifically the Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett has a little jetpack, which is removable, by the way, so you can set him in the cockpit with ease. Green armor plates, orange shoulder pads, red gauntlets, red on the visor. They really did an amazing job on these little figures. They're so tiny. Fennec here, orange helmet, orange on the arm, orange on her comma. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up because this thing is just so absolutely tiny and I'm zoomed in as far as I can go. But her braid is molded onto her back. So there is a braid coming out of the back of her helmet and it's molded down along her back. That's awesome. Just the little tiny details they do there. You can open that little hatch there and have them standing in the little doorway here. While Boba Fett's in the cockpit flying, there is a peg on his little weapons rack here, and that is for his jetpack. So while he's piloting your Slave 1, you have jetpack storage on the inside. Now, it's a little difficult because I have really big fingers, and this toy is micro. There we go. I got it. I got it. So you can see the jetpack on there now. And then, of course, here, let's go ahead and, close the Slave 1 up so they can fly it into space. You can open up the hatch here and take your Boba and put him in the center. Let's bring his arms up. There we go. Okay, so the trick to getting him in there in his seated position, as you can see, there's little notches there to hold their legs into place when they're in the seated position. Don't fold the legs before you put the figure inside the chair. Lead the legs straight up and let the legs bend as you put him into the chair, because it's a little bit easier, because it's hard to maneuver the legs in there with the small size you got. Because look, this is how big my finger is by comparison. So you can see why I'm struggling here. Yeah, just do it like that. So keep the legs straight. I'm gonna put her over his right shoulder, and then just let the legs bend as you put them in, and then that just makes it way easier. So when you have them in the upright position, there they are. And then you can close that right up, and then there's your Slave 1 with its characters inside, ready to go into battle. This thing is just so cool. I have been loving the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. It has been such a cool addition to the Star Wars collectibles, and I just can't wait to see what Jazwares announces next, because so far everything they've done has been pretty cool, even with some of the scaling issues here and there. Overall, wholesale, this is a really awesome line, and stay tuned because we do have more reviews coming for it very soon. I would say overall my only complaint, though, because I do have at least one, is there's not really a good display stand for this. I do wish that Jazwares had molded and released some kind of stand, much like the one that Hasbro did for Vintage Collections Slave 1, where you can just kind of display it in this configuration as well, because while it doesn't really need a stand to display, you can just have it in the landed position. I do think it would be really cool for collectors to be able to display it in this very nice, awesome flight position. And I feel the same about a lot of the other vehicles released in this line. So far, one of the only starfighters to actually come with a stand has been Asajj Ventress's, and that's just because you can't really just set it down in a landed position. But lack of display stand aside, I think this is a really, really great model. I think they've done a fantastic job. Not only is it a cool model, but it is a really fun toy to play with. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more of this line. The more pieces I review and play with from this line, the more I'm looking forward to more, which is really exciting. So what do you think so far? Was this one that you were really excited for? Maybe this was the only ship you picked up because you're a big Boba Fett fan and you got to have the Slave 1 in your collection. Let us know what a vehicle that you're looking forward to in this line, or maybe it was this one, in the comments or in the forums. Stay tuned for more Micro Galaxy Squadron reviews. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the website daily for daily content. Follow us on social media and check out rebelscumshop.com for some awesome swag and merch. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.